Hi, this is just a little workshop to show you how to understand your color palette and learn how to pick a color palette that really appeals to your personal style, your personal brand. And this is one thing: you should never try to copy anybody else's work, because you have to really kind of search within yourself to see, what kind of colors that appeal to you. And one of the things that you should do is always keep your eyes open during the day. And if you're taking a walk, look at the colors of the leaves. If you're inside, interior of some place, your own home, look to see what colors you like to use to decorate your home, and you'll begin to see your personal style. And like for me, like personally, I like really neutral colors, but I like real bright colors for accents. So I understand that about myself. Now, whenever you take an art class, and I know some of you have said to me, well, I don't really understand the color wheel. So let me explain to you about a color wheel. It's very, very simple. And it's basically, the basic colors are red, blue, and yellow. And then you create your secondary colors by mixing. If you mix red and blue, you get purple. If you mix blue and yellow, you get green. And if you mix yellow and red, you get orange. And to me, this is all the knowledge that I need to really begin my color palettes, because I know that you could go on and on and on by mixing 3 of these colors and 3 of these colors, and you get more colors. But I just think that it's unnecessary to learn all that, because it's very mind-boggling. To me, once you understand this, you could take this and then now start adding your personal styles to create your own hair colors. So what I've done is, one of the things that I really recommend is for you to study magazines. And so to begin with, here's my book, and I looked through just old magazines that I had and really picked out color palettes in these photos that really appeal to me. So you could see, I tried to pick all different kinds of color palettes, because I didn't want to just stick with the colors that I like. And the colors I like usually has a lot of pinks and aquas and things like that in it. And so I tried to find colors that, what's different than what I like, but colors that really appeal to me. So I did this, the greens and the aquas, and here's the beautiful pinks. And so it's a really good idea for you to look through magazines or anything you have around, and then pick pictures that you like. And some of you probably have my card decks, right? And when I made these card decks, there's 64 original art in here. And each one of these cards that I made, I thought out the color palettes very carefully, because I didn't want it to all look like the things that I do all the time. So if you notice that I have a whole bunch of different color palettes going on here. So what's really, I'm going to use these card decks today because it's small, and you could, it's not so bulky like the book that I'm working out of. So let's pick a few. This one has a lot of colors in it, but like some of these really don't. Some of these are very, very simple. Simple colors. So we could start out by picking some colors that, we'll just pick a few cards. And then let's try making some color palettes. And I've already done some of the color palettes here, but I'm not going to use the book today, because it's wet, and it's very hard for me to do this quickly, because it has to dry. So I'm going to be using just the typical 5x7 cards, watercolor cards that I have, and we'll use these. And and here's something that I want to show you. So when I'm just doodling, or I'm on, let's see, I listen to podcasts, or I'm, listening to something on my computer or the television, I like to just take a piece of paper and I start putting all kinds of colors on here. And this is just a design. It's really nothing, but you could see that I tend to favor these certain colors, right? So this is kind of a nice little color palette for me to look at too, whenever I want to create something this color. So you could do the same thing. You could do, draw a whole bunch of flowers or birds or shapes, and then, just practice your colors. So when we, for me, I know that I really like this watercolor palettes that already come like this, but I'm just a little bit lazy. So I decided, when I do a lot of scouting around in the art stores and online, and I found some tubes of colors that really appeal to me, and the colors that I didn't think that I could really find, or I have to do a lot of mixing in my watercolor palette. So I picked up these colors, and these are called Holbein, and these are Japanese-made watercolors. I think these are gouache watercolors, actually. And so what I do is I'm going to show you. See if you notice, this is ash green, and it's very, very hard to find that ash green in your own watercolor palette because you have to do a lot of mixing. So when I found this, I was very, very happy, because now, and this is another blue color that's very hard to find, and another one is called ash blue. I love this ash blue, but it's hard to mix in my own color palette. So I'm going to show you some of the colors. Green. Another hard color, I bet you know that too, huh? That is the pale pink. This I love pale pink, but it's just a little bit of work for me to mix it. Because you have to take one of the darker pinks in your watercolor palette, and you have to mix it with white. And then here's lavender. And you don't really need this many colors, but I just got carried away when I was looking at these beautiful colors, and I thought, wow, these colors come already mixed. And there's orange. And then there is red. This is called the cadmium red deep. This is a deep red. And one of my favorite color here is opera pink. Very bright pink. So I just put these colors on my palette, and I have lots of white here in the corner. And I'm going to start. And I think that this little watercolor tray that I bought, I think I bought it at Michael's or someplace, but I really love it because it's flat and it's big and it lets me play. And I just play in here all the time. So let's first start by looking at this simple little card, and it's called growth. Never stop growing, because growth represents progress. Instead of falling into complacency, try something new that is out of your comfort zone and literally terrifies you. Your aha moment is you understand that real growth does not come without a little pain along the way. And so I guess maybe this may be a little pain for you and for us who try to get ourselves ready with our color palettes, but believe me, it's really a lot of fun to do. So first I'm going to try to find the color in this background of the bear. The background color, you know, to me, it has white. And it has kind of a little bit of aqua blue. And it has a little bit of green, I think. And as I'm mixing it, I don't know if you can see this or not, I'm mixing it right here. And I really like the background color always to be pretty light, so let me see. Here it is. Now, just remember that you don't have to make it exactly like this. I mean, you know, because these colors all really mix pretty well together. And so you don't really need to try to match it, you know, just exactly like the way it is. But I think it's close enough. And then the branches is olive. And so let me see if I could mix a little bit of olive in here. And maybe I'll take some green from my watercolor palette and put it in here. Now you get this nice smoky olive color, that's color of the branch. And then if you feel like, maybe I need a little darker, then what you have to do is you have to add a little bit of black. And then once you add the black, you'll see you even get a darker, right? So your basic backup colors, I think always I use black, gray, brown, and white. And those three colors will help you to create, well, it'll help you to kind of tone down the color, deepen the color, muddy up the color. It just depends on what you want, but it's really nice for you to have a example like this to follow. And then here, the yellow, the bear is yellow. So let me go to my paint palette and find the yellow. And make sure that you water down your paint palette too, so that it's just nice and wet. And now I found the yellow of the bear. See, now those are beautiful colors. It's looking really good. Now then there is red in those little bits of berries. And there's also white. And you know, white you can't see, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put the white here, just so that I know there was white in here. Now, the next thing is red. And I'm gonna take a little bit of red from here. And the red is also in my watercolor paint set too, by the way, so you could get it from there too. And I probably would add a little bit of red like this. To show that a little bit of red is nice, but you don't want to put a whole bunch of red in here. So I just I'm just gonna put little dots on there. So here's your color palette for, if you like a color palette like this, you would use this. So next time you feel like you want to do something in these colors, just pull out this card and then you'll know what colors, and then you'll learn to mix it. Okay, so then the next one here is, let's say, the bunny rabbit. In the background in this bunny rabbit, if you notice, is the color is a little bit smoky. So right here I have a smoky blue, but that's too smoky, so I'm gonna add just a very nice navy blue that's in my watercolor palette, and mix it with the blue, smoky blue, and you get this really nice And you know, if you don't get it just right in the first place, you'll try again and just do it. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it has a little bit of lavender to this. What is it? Is there a little bit of purple or lavender to it? So I'm going to add that. And then maybe a little bit of white to lighten it. Let me see what color I get from there. Now you'll see, now you get this blue. You see, like this is just like playing. You should play like this all the time with your colors so you could learn them. Okay, the next color that's in here is yellow. So I'm gonna add the yellow right here. And I think this yellow looks to me like it's just a little bit too green. So I'm just gonna fix it up again. And so I was gonna go this orange, but to me, that's too much. So go pick up more yellow. But you know, I'm really liking this, what I'm getting, so I'm gonna put it on here too. This is just a little bit more than a yellow, but I really like it. So I'm just gonna keep that in there. So don't feel limited to whatever you find. And that yellow doesn't seem like the yellow I'm looking for either. And so now I'm going to do this. And I lightened it with white. So do you notice what I did? The steps I went through to get to the yellow I like. But all the other yellows I mixed still would look really nice with this color palette. So I would just leave it on there. And then next comes pink, my favorite. My favorite pink. And maybe I'll just add just a little bit of this orange in here, just see what happens. I'm just playing. Maybe a little bit of opera pink, maybe. So now I'm going to add, that's a beautiful color. Okay, so there you go. And there is a little bit of black outline on this. And so I might just put it just a little bit of black. It's a nice thing to add. So these are just like little reminders for yourself, because if you use all these light colors, sometimes you need just a little bit of dark. And so I put some charcoal gray in here. And of course, the rabbit is white. And white is always really, really good to use with anything. So I'm going to mix a little bit of white. And white, you cannot see it, but I'm just going to add it in there anyways. So remind myself. And then if it's white, I would just it's white, so I'm just going to put a little thing around it so I'll know that there's white in there. So there you go. And then I'll show you one more thing, which is a little bit more of a complicated one. This card right here called Creativity. And this one has lots of colors in it. So let's see if we could create a color palette for this. So the original color palette for that would be, I'm just going to pick the orange and see if I could start off with that. try to find the orange. Okay, here's orange. But if you notice that I mixed some other colors in the orange so it doesn't look so flat. And so another color I mixed in there is some orange mixed with a little bit of red. And that just made it, gave it a little bit darker orange, right? Oh, this cord keeps getting in the way. Okay, the next color again is yellow. I'm gonna try to pick a yellow again for my watercolor palette. And I don't know why my yellow always keeps coming out too not real yellow. It comes out kind of orangey yellow. So I'm just gonna mix a little white to get it to be more of a pale yellow. Okay, then the next color would be, let's see, let's try to mix that geranium flower at the corner. I'm gonna use my opera pink. And I think that this is pretty simple. Beautiful color. I just want to make sure that mine is being placed right under the camera. I'm not sure. So that is the opera pink. And then if you notice that one of the little girls have green hair, and that's a really nice thing because that green hair really adds some depth to the picture, because if without that, this drawing would be just really pastel colors and it wouldn't be very interesting. So here's the color of her hair. And then the next girl above her has brown. So let's add a little bit of brown from my watercolor palette. There's brown. And there is very, very pale pink in here. So again, that pale pink is created by adding pink and white. And I already have a really nice pink on my tray, so I use that, but I even use a little bit of white on top of that. The background color is kind of a taupey, beigey, umber kind of color. So I'm gonna add this right here to the background. And then the leaves are, I did the leaves in 2 different colors so it doesn't look so monotonous. So one would be aqua and one would be, and I added some green in there too. So it has a little bit of each. So let's just change this up a little bit. And so I've used aqua. And I use green. So these are really, really bright colors, and it has a lot of colors in this picture, but I think that it's just fun to do these because it really shows you how many colors that you could combine. And so I think that with all the, all the color palettes that you make, it's amazing that the colors are probably all going to intermingle with each other But it's just really nice to see just, I want to see something in green and yellow. Then you might look at this and you have, and then this has a lot more yellow to it. And then this one has a lot of color to it. So I think that you'll have fun creating these little cards or putting in your little sketchbooks, but creating these little color palettes and trying to have fun while you're doing it, because once you do it, you'll be using it forever. I love color palettes and I love glossaries. Whenever I paint flowers, you know, I have a whole array of flowers I look at, and I think some of you who's taken my classes before have received my flower glossaries, and I hope that they come in really handy for you. So anyway, that's it. If you have any questions, please, you know, ask me inside the Artful Giving community, and this will be posted in there too. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. So have a great time experimenting and have a great day. Thank you.